Greetings to all my friends and subscribers and such on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video will be seen. Celine Driver, once again, coming to you after yet another humiliating performance by the Florida Gators, losing to a clearly inferior, at least on paper, LSU Tiger team, 49-42. Y'all saw the game. I didn't see the game, actually. I was on Anna Maria Island yesterday for the majority of the morning and afternoon. I didn't actually see any games yesterday. So I didn't see this game. There was no internet service of any appreciable kind on Anna Maria Island. I couldn't stream the game. Hell, I barely received text messages. But that's not why I'm here. I found this on my Facebook feed from SI.com's Fan Nation, an article that just was posted up about an hour or so ago. When I'm making this, generally I eschew Sports Illustrated. I find their writing style to be pedantic, bordering on childish. I find their opinion pieces to be pretty much worthless in terms of anything that I have interest in. But I found this article and I thought I would share it with you. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description. If you want to read it, I'm just going to basically read it to you. It's from somebody named Zach Goodall. He's evidently a staff writer of some kind. The headline is, Mullens says Gators won't consider midseason defensive staff changes. The subheading is, according to Dan Mullen, Todd Grantham's job as Florida Gators defensive coordinator is safe for the time being. That right there was enough to basically depress me to the point where, honestly, I don't want to turn on another game for the remainder of 2021. But then I started to read the article, which I'll do, and yeah. LSU ranked 13th in the SEC and 127th in the nation with 83.2 rush yards per game on average entering Saturday's game against Florida. The Tigers would proceed to nearly quadruple their average with 320 yards against the Gators and route to an upset victory over the nation's number 20 squad. Junior Tigers running back Tyrion, I don't name these people. Like Uncle Lou said, I don't name these people. It's not my responsibility to pronounce their names right. Tyrion, Tyrion, Davis-Price, set a school record with 287 individual rushing yards in the contest, the most by an opposing running back in a single game in Gators history. Todd Grantham is creating Gator history as we speak. Unfortunately, it's a type of fucking history we don't want. But I digress. Back to the article. It was a miserable showing for the Gators' defense, as they not only couldn't stop the run if they tried, but a successful Tigers rushing attack opened up numerous scoring opportunities in the passing game off of play action, which translated to 3 touchdowns from sophomore quarterback Max Johnson. Basically, we made Max Johnson look like a Heisman candidate. Boy can barely get out of his own way, but we made him look like he's a Heisman candidate. That allowed LSU to score 49 points, the most given up by UF this season, by 18. Despite the catastrophic collapse by the SEC's 5th-ranked defense, I find that hard to believe. Head coach Dan Mullen has no plans to make staff changes across Florida's defensive staff. Pardon me while I scroll up a little bit. Nah, you literally said that. Nah, I don't like to jump to conclusions. It's a long season on stuff right there. Mullens said when asked specifically if he'd consider any alterations. Quote, that was a quote, by the way. Quote, I'd like to know the facts on everything that's going on and what the issues are and what we're doing and what we need to do to improve and how we're going to do that. What a bunch of bullshit coach speak. Instead, Mullens shared, as he often does, that he will simply evaluate the Gators' issues on that side of the ball and try to come up with a solution. But does that statement actually mean anything at this point? Florida's defense has undoubtedly improved from the 2020 season. Sorry, Zach, I don't see that. But we'll run with that conclusion that, because maybe you know what you're talking about. I don't think you do. But the loss to LSU was reminiscent of the Gators' struggles from a year ago when the team ranked 9th in the SEC in yards allowed per game, 428, and 8th in points allowed per game, 30.8. The story remains the same as ultimately Florida's defense has been disappointing ever since its dominant season featuring an excellent pass rush in 2019. Sure, the team ranked 2nd in points allowed per game in the SEC before facing LSU at 16.5, but the Gators have faced subpar offenses aside from Alabama and Tennessee in 2021, which is necessary context. Yeah, okay. And yet, Mullen insists his perception of defensive coordinator Todd Lardass, my addition, Grantham, defense against Kentucky after giving up 190 total yards in the first half. After the game, Mullen blamed his outburst on Grantham, his neighbor, for putting up Christmas lights before Thanksgiving. Okay. Mullen isn't the type of coach to publicly apply pressure on his assistants, and in this case, his friend, when they deserving of criticism. That remained the case on Saturday. Nothing changes my perspective on anything. This is Mullen speaking. Nothing changes my perspective on anything. We've always evaluated things throughout the course of the season in everything we do, Mullen proclaimed. Mullen continues, we're in the middle point of the season here going into our bye week. Like I said, I'll evaluate what we did well, what we did poorly. We'll go look at the film and we'll see how we can improve for 2 weeks from now. It's too late for Florida to improve enough defensively to contend in the SEC. No shit, Sherlock. As the Gators' chances of making the conference championship are all but eliminated. Hell, they were eliminated weeks ago, Zach. I don't know what the hell you're paying attention to, but the Florida Gators eliminated themselves from SEC contention before the LSU game. Trust me. Perhaps Grantham can put together solid game plans and restore his job security before the season ends. But he's undoubtedly on a hot seat right now. Yeah, no kidding. However, the seat apparently isn't hot enough for Mullen to make an in-season change, and even if it were, Mullen appears content with keeping Grantham around until the season concludes at a minimum. That's basically the end of the article. Gee, big, hard-hitting journalistic, story there, Zach. Yeah, you really blew it away with that story. Basically, what we can draw from this as Gator fans, and I know there are a few of them on my channel, is Florida's not getting rid of Grantham. Florida's not going to change anything, and Florida is content to be what Florida is now, which is basically a team with no defense, and God knows what they're going to do on offense. I mean, Emory Jones is not the answer. Anthony Richardson might be the answer, but he's young and inexperienced. And I don't see the inexperienced part changing anytime soon because Mullen is going to ride the Emory Jones horse all the way to the end of the season. It's obvious at this point. And after reading that article, I can only come to one conclusion. I'm done. I'm done with it. Obvious loss to Georgia. I would question whether or not we can actually beat Mizzou at this point. I know South Carolina is in there somewhere. I believe Mizzou and South Carolina are both road games. So, probably not. No. Samford, an FCS team? Hell, I'd have to even question that game at this point. But at least it's a home game. But I mean, might be able to eke that win out. And then the season ends with Free Shoes University showing up in Gainesville. At the beginning of the season, I saw that as an easy win because Florida State is in a complete free fall. You know what? I can't. I question. 6-6. I predicted at the beginning of this season, hell, I predicted even further back than that, a 9-3 year with losses to LSU, Alabama, and Georgia. Looks like I'm correct on those. Sure as hell didn't see that Kentucky loss coming. So, we're 4-3 going into the bye week. We'll probably lose to the bye week. But this team is a 6-6 team. And if this team had any kind of respect for itself and for Gator Nation and for the program, it would decline any bowl invitation and put 2021 to bed and then euthanize it. And I know that won't happen. We'll go to a bowl game just because we'll get a few extra weeks of practice that won't mean anything because we won't have already fired our defensive coordinator at the end of the season. And we'll probably roll into a bowl game and lose it. So, yeah, I'm getting tired of Dan Mullen's thing. I wish at this point he would resign. And take the rest of his staff with him and get the hell out of Gainesville. And let's sweep clean and start over. With who? I don't know. I'll think about that. Maybe I'll make another video on that. I don't know, and I don't care at this point. All I know is at bare minimum, Grantham should have been fired when the clock in Baton Rouge registered triple zeros. But he won't be. He should be fired at the end of the year. Probably won't be. Hell, at least Harvard won. Harvard's contending for the Ivy League championship. I'm looking forward to a meaningful game in the Ivy League next week when I do my live stream. Live stream of the game. I'm going to do the Harvard-Princeton game. Winner of that game has the inside track to winning the Ivy League championship. So that game means something. Every single Florida game from here to the end of the season means nothing. Your season is over. Yeah. Florida's season ended weeks ago, but my level of caring about the Florida season for 2021 is now officially over. Congratulations to the teams that are going to beat us in the weeks to come. It won't mean much. You're basically beating a crippled team, but enjoy the W. Yeah, I'm done. That article from Sports Illustrated basically killed the season for me. If we're not willing to get rid of Todd Grantham at this point, I'm not investing any more time or energy in the 2021 season. So I'll spend my time elsewhere. Have a good one.